Hi, today we're going to be reading Madeline by Ludwig Bemelmans. And this book is one of my favorites because the title is called Madeline. Now this is exactly how you spell my first name, so this has been a special book my whole life. But before we get to reading that, we're going to introduce you to today's featured guest. Her name is Coco. Say hi, Coco. Coco is about 1.5 years. We got her from a pet store in Bloomington. She is a Havanese poodle. She's full grown at about 10 pounds. Now she's still a puppy, so she is full of life and will run around the house for no reason. So she keeps us on our toes. She is very cute and sweet, but she is trouble at sometimes. Okay, so let's get started on this book, Madeline. In an old house in Paris that was covered with vines lived 12 little girls in 2 straight lines. In 2 straight lines, they broke their bread, they brushed their teeth, and went to bed. They smiled at the good, and they frowned at the bad. And sometimes they were very sad. They left the house at 9:30 in 2 straight lines, in rain or shine. The smallest one was Madeline. She was not afraid of mice. She loved winter, snow and ice. To the tiger in the zoo, Madeline just said, "Pooh, pooh." And nobody knew so well how to frighten Miss Clavel. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavel turned on her light and said, "Something is not right." Little Madeline sat in bed, cried and cried, her eyes were red. And soon after Dr. Kuhn came, he rushed out to the phone. He dialed Danton 10-6. "Nurse," he said, "it's an appendix." Everyone had to cry, not a single eye was dry. Madeline was in his arms, in a blanket, safe and warm. In the car with a red light, they drove out into the night. Madeline woke up 2 hours later in a room with flowers. Madeline soon ate and drank. On her bed there was a crank, and a crack in the ceiling that had a habit of sometimes looking like a rabbit. Outside were birds, trees, and sky, and so 10 days passed quickly by. One nice morning, Miss Clavel said, "Isn't this fine? A fine day to visit Madeline." Visitors from 2 to 4 read a sign outside her door. Tiptoeing with solemn face, with some flowers in a vase. As they walked in, they said, "Ah," when they saw all the toys and candy in the dollhouse from Papa. But the biggest surprise by far, on her stomach was a scar. "Goodbye," they said, "we'll come again." And the little girls left in the rain. They went home and broke their bread, brushed their teeth, and went to bed. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavel turned on the light and said, something is not right. And afraid of disaster, Miss Clavel ran faster and faster. And she said, "Please, children, do tell me what is troubling you." And all the little girls cried, "Boo-hoo, we want to have our appendix out too." "Good night, little girls. Thank you, Lord, you are well. And now go to sleep," said Miss Clavel. And she turned out the light and closed the door, and that's all there is. There isn't any more. So this book was written in 1939, and there's a big difference between how you go about an appendix now than there was then. In the book it tells us that she was in the hospital for 10 days and she had a big scar. So nowadays you're not going to have a big scar, you're just going to have 2 little holes that they put probes in and take your appendix out. And the recovery time from that is about 3 days maybe. So I hope you like this video. Bye!